Hey guys, welcome back to another one. So today what I'm going to be showing you is how to make raccoon bait from scratch and kind of pre-baiting stuff and yeah, kind of all of it. So what we're going to be starting out with is how to actually make the meat part of your bait. So what I have here is some leftover pork steaks from the other night. So as you can see, they have some bones on them, and then I was able to cut off that meat from them. So I already boiled this down, and we have some leftover brats from who knows when from in the freezer. So obviously not going to eat those. So I just had all those boiling in there for maybe 30 minutes, real low temp. Just to really get that water nice and tasteful. So what we'll actually be going ahead and doing is we'll kind of put the bones aside since those aren't really needed at this point. Yes, you could use them in your baits, but I find that they're more of a hindrance than actually being helpful. So we'll actually end up throwing those away, and we'll just use the meat part of it. So we'll go ahead and get this going here. So as you can see, I have a couple different jugs and containers here. So this one is used cooking oil, which is just from like cooking chicken, cooking pork, those kind of things. So this is what I would use for pre-baiting, because this, when you dump it on the ground, that oil sticks to everything like rocks, grass, and stuff like that. So it makes those raccoons, those coyotes, stick around and look at it because it is sweet. And I also put a little extra salt in there just to keep it from freezing completely if you're using this kind of further in the season. And it also helps it kind of give it a better taste for the coyotes and the raccoons. Works really good with raccoons. And yeah, the reason why you wouldn't use, say, this is water-based, like crock pot water. So it's been having roast, it has other stuff. It will have this water in there as well. So it's tasteful water, but if you dump water on the ground, it's not like oil and stick to stuff. It's just kind of evaporate, and there's not going to be much left of it besides the scraps that went in there. So a better use for this stuff is actually putting it in your raccoon bait or your coyote bait, stirring it up, and then it keeps that smell on the bait. So what I typically use is like cat food or dog food. And when you dump in, you don't put in a lot. You put in just a little bit at a time so it doesn't mush everything up. So it gives that cat or dog food even better of a smell. And it gives it a better of a taste, though that doesn't really matter. They're going to eat it no matter what. But that's just another helpful way to really get those pre-baited sets, or even your DP sets or foothold sets, a lot better chance, because this is going to taste way better than just cat food or dog food. It tastes like a roast. It's just fantastic for them. And then what we have over here, lastly, is the scrap stuff. So right here is all of the normal kind of pork, the leftover like ribs, roast sections that you cut off of pork, like the skin. So this is all that kind of stuff. Very good smell, even for us. So what I do is I keep it all frozen so it doesn't get too nasty before season, and actually take this, put it in your bait, put it in your cat food, your dog food, whatever you kind of use. That's just what I use. And it gives it such a better smell along with that, that this is a great supplement. That's like putting like freaking, it's like having ice cream, and then this is like your freaking treats on top of that, like your little syrup, your chocolate syrup and stuff. Like, it's amazing for them. They won't stop eating it, because why would you stop eating pork and go to the field and eat corn? That sounds stupid. I'd rather eat the pork. So really good thing. Just try to keep your scraps. I usually chop it up with, well, I use like a Pampered Chef just because it makes it super easy. But you can cut it up with a knife. You can boil it, make it really tender, pull it apart with 2 forks. lots of options for it. So just another way to kind of make your bait even more presentable, trying to stop those raccoons from getting to that field where all that corn is. So it wouldn't be that difficult to stop them from getting to a soybean field, just because soybeans aren't something that they really care for. Like, they'll eat them, great source of protein for them, but if there's corn available, they'll go to the corn first. So if you ever are out scouting and you see a bean field and a corn field, always go for the corn field. That's where all of the actual animals are going to be, because that's where the tasteful food is. Like, you won't go over and eat some nasty sardines over, quotes for soybeans, instead of going eating like a freaking steak over in the cornfield. Like, that's just me. So what we'll actually go ahead and do here is we'll take this pork, get what we can in there. Perfect. And we'll just chop it up. Perfect. That looks good. Then flip it over. Boom. As you can see, nice shredded. So when you actually put this in your cat food, dog food bait, or maybe you're only just using this, kind of up to you, this is going to really get all around in the bait instead of just having like 3 or 4 big chunks in there. This makes it where everything tastes like this. That's what you want. That's what will keep them nice and happy. So lastly, what we'll do, and something that I've kind of wanted to experiment for this season, is we'll take the brats out of here, since they got that juice nicely in there. Perfect. Just like that. And as you can see, really a lot of color in that liquid, as you can see. So that means a lot of the brats, a lot of that bone marrow from those bones, all of the pork juice went in there. So very good taste. And what I've been wanting to try is actually thickening this up. That way you can get more of it into your actual raccoon bait. So we'll actually just take a spoonful for right now and just kind of sprinkle it in there. And we'll actually turn it back on so that can just go ahead and simmer, just like that. So this will make it where that it's not going to make everything so mushy in your raccoon bait, no matter what you're using. A lot of people even just use corn. Corn's a great one as well. You know, it's free usually. You can find it, or you can get like a 50-pound bag of cracked corn for like $5. So, you know, really easy to find. But you really want to supplement that corn, especially if you're using corn. Dog and cat food already has a better taste than corn. But a way to stop them from getting to the field to eat corn, if you just have corn, is making it smell amazing, which all of these things will do. You could even put some oil on there if you really wanted to. I just like to use that for my sets for pre-baiting, just because it does such a good job for it. But to each their own with kind of how they do everything. So we'll just kind of let this thicken up here. Stir it around a little bit. And we'll let that keep going. I'll turn it down just a tad. But yeah, you know, that's kind of the gist of it. Pretty simple. And then once season comes along, I'll go ahead, since we still have roughly about a month and a half to 2 months, I'll actually go ahead and take all this stuff out of the freezer. Actually, 2 weeks prior, I'll probably take this oil and actually put it in to my kind of sets that I feel like where it'd be good for pre-baiting for a couple couple of weeks prior to season. You don't want to do it too early because you're not going to be able to keep up with their demand. But you just want to do it a little bit before, help concentrate that area down. Makes it really easy to kind of catch them. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab that, put it in there. And yeah, you guys can let me know kind of the other ways that you have, that you find that are good. Whether it's different baits. I know a lot of people use like fish and stuff like that. Would be another great option, especially if you're by a riverbed or creeks where they're kind of used to getting that kind of food. Would be a good option as well. So we'll go ahead and cut these up as well. But yeah, I think you guys kind of get the gist of it. Pretty simple here. Let me know if you kind of like this camera angle or if you prefer a different one. This is just chest mounted one. But we do have head mount and tripod as well. So kind of whichever way you guys want it is how we'll do it. And yeah, as you can see, this is starting to get a nice consistency of kind of like gravy, I would say, which is about right. This is kind of how you make gravy anyways. But I might even let it go a little bit further. Let's try a little bit more. You just gotta remember, raccoons are not picky at all. They don't really care. They'll eat whatever's in front of them. But the best way to get a lot of them there is to make it taste really, really good. And this way, even if you say you don't even have oil and you only have like leftover crock pot water and stuff like that, this would make it actually work for putting it down as pre-baiting. So like putting this on the ground now, like that would definitely stay there for quite a while, and they'll probably get around to it. You just got to make sure that it smells enough that they're actually going to find it. And yeah, other than that, you could put a little bit of lure, just a little dab on top or something like that, just to kind of get them to come over, or put a little on a tree next to it so that wind can really help you. And boom, just like that, you have pre-baiting oil, you have pre-baiting or baits, actual, let's pull it out here, pre-baiting or actual bait water / liquid. And you have the stuff that you can supplement into your bait to make it taste really good, or you can even use this on its own, but that is kind of rich, so I wouldn't most likely recommend that. And plus, if you have a ton of it in there all together, it will freeze together if you're in kind of the area that is a problem, because it is still a little wet, obviously, because it's boiled down meat. So it will stick together, so it get caught in your dog proofs and stuff like that. So just kind of things to be wary of. And yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or any comments, leave them in the comments below. Feel free to like and share this video. It really helps me out, helps us grow. And yeah, thank you for watching.